You're listening to The Bird Bath. Welcome back to The Bird Bath. Each week we scrape the surface of the news you need to know, so let's get into it. Kicking us off this week, we have got a really cool and special interview with Brian Kavanaugh, who's a managing partner at VetValue. They've got a really unique and special launch of a new product, and I wanted to bring Brian in just to give us a little bit of his insight from the broker side of things of what's going on in consolidation, as well as what we should expect to see in this new product offering that they're launching for us. So we've got Brian here for an interview, and let's jump right into that now. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for being on the show. You've advised over $1 billion in veterinary deals. From your seat on the seller side as an advisor, how would you describe the current state of consolidation? What's really going on in the market right now?
Nice to be with you, Ryan. Thank you. The markets remain in good condition. They're off their COVID highs where you had very high transaction volume and kind of got as high for general practices on the market multiple side of maybe 14 to 16 times. Back down to kind of 10 to 12, the pre-COVID highs. They've been there for the past few years. We've seen a little bit of an uptick both in multiples and in activity this calendar year so far. So we're optimistic. I think that the main thing we see is that it's still only about 40% of practice owners who sell are being represented. And so the others are typically leaving quite a bit on the table, as it were. So as you mentioned, we have created over the past couple of years the platform we're launching in the fall to help the other 60% and any of those 40% that care to join us. And so, I think, why is it so many people don't use people? We don't know. It's maybe too much cost. Maybe they don't trust brokers, don't know how to pick a good one. But we're trying to eliminate all those objections with the launch of our VetValue Connect practice sale marketplace.
So tell me, what is this marketplace? What's it doing? I have to play a little dumb to keep it interesting for the listeners here, but I know this is something that's pretty revolutionary in the way that people are looking at selling practices.
So it's the first cloud-based practice sale platform in history. It is super secure, it's intelligently automated, and it covers the entire practice sale process, optimizing the quality, the consistency, the transparency, efficiency, the flexibility, and most importantly, the affordability of that process for selling practice owners.
So on the affordability side, I remember when I was buying practices with Galaxy Vets, brokers traditionally were in that 4 to 6% in fees. I think you and I were talking off before the recording, you're talking about cutting that in half or more. How's that working with the platform?
Yeah, so we offer on our platform not just the same full service practice brokerage that traditional brokers who charge 4 to 6% for their services offer, but we also offer discount brokerage on our platform, kind of like the whole brokerage process without the actual broker. So for discount brokerage, our fees range between 1.5% and 2.75%. For full service brokerage, our fees range between 2.25% up to 4.125% for the smallest practices. So it's a very substantial kind of 1/2 off, 1/3 off, type of savings here that we're offering relative to traditional practice brokers.
That's nothing to scoff at. Those numbers and those percentages add up pretty quickly when you're doing a 5 or 8 or $10 million sale of your business. So for people that are, whether they're own their practice now and are thinking about it, when are you guys launching this? When is this going to be going live for people to check out?
We're launching this fall, and that'll probably be, I'd say, late September to late October. And we are actually offering people the ability right now to pre-order to secure a spot. The spots will be limited at launch. And there are additional goodies that come for those that do pre-order, and the earliest birds catch the biggest worms.
Love that. That's going to be fun for people. All right. So one more question, just from my side of things. As a previously working on the buyer side, what's the excitement level from the buyers to be able to participate and engage in this platform?
So the buyers are excited about the efficiency that this platform brings to the way they go about their business, the same way that sellers will be very excited about that efficiency, and the same way that we at VetValue are excited about it. In addition, it's totally free for the buyers to get on the platform, so they'll all be on it. And they like the opportunity to work with well-educated sellers in a smooth process. That's very attractive to them as well.
Definitely. Okay. So for practice owners that are looking to sell, or even buyers that want to look at an easier and smoother process, where should people go to find out more?
So our website, www.vetvalue.pet, is a good place to start. We'll also be at the AVMA conference this week in Washington, D.C., and have a booth there, VetValue, in case people want to drop by, meet us, say hello, and take a look. We'll be happy to give them a little preview.
I'll be there. We'll try and make a fun and exciting time when I come by. And then maybe I'd love to see another demo and just see how this is developing for you guys. I know this is something that's been in works for a really, really long time. So I was excited to be able to bring this to people first here on the show. So, Brian, thank you again. Thank you for all that you've been doing, and can't wait to have you back on the show again.
My pleasure, Ryan. Thanks for having me. Look forward to seeing you at AVMA.
Again, thank you to Brian and the whole team at VetValue for joining us on the show. If you want to see them at AVMA, they're going to be at booth 2162. And I won't be at the booth with them, but I will be all over AVMA and checking out Washington, D.C. So if you're going to be in the area, be sure to say hi, come by, wave to me. I love to hear from people. I love going to these different types of conferences because it's a really great opportunity to just hear from people, see people I haven't seen in a while, and figure out what's going on in the industry. So say hello when you see me at AVMA. Really looking forward to it this upcoming week. Our next story is a cool acquisition from a company that I'm a big fan of. Bright Planet Pet has been acquired by Archway Pets. The CEO and co-founder of Archway Pet Food, which some of you might have known if you were been following them. They used to be called Arch, but they've updated their name. Gabe Huertas del Pino said, "This acquisition is about amplifying impact. Bright Planet Pet has been a trailblazer in the plant-based pet category, and their ethos aligns perfectly with our vision that better treats for dogs don't have to come at the expense of the planet. Together, we're going to redefine what sustainability means in pet care." It's a really cool acquisition, and it's kind of an interesting one when you see two fairly young, newer companies partnering up and joining forces here. Archway was founded in 2022 and Bright Planet was started in 2020. So both companies are less than 5 years old, and they have a really clear and aligned ethos, one that I think is really neat to be able to see. They're both set up and really focus on sustainable ingredients, packaging, lowering the environmental impact, and trying to bring food to our pets and treats to our pets that are better for our overall planet while still giving the animals the things that they need. So really, really cool to see there. Can't wait to see what these two companies do. I know Bright Planet and their founder are going to continue operating and running that brand while utilizing the scale and the growth that Archway has been having over the past couple of years to continue to accelerate their things. Just on my own side of things, I had a really cool opportunity to partner with Archway for a collaboration when I was working with Digitail in 2024. And I was super impressed by the team and Gabe and everything that they put together. We did a little co-branded giveaway at one of the conferences to get people excited and hopefully hand out something a little bit different than candy bars or pens at a conference. So if you haven't tried out what Archway has, definitely recommend that. They're a cool team with a really cool mission. Now, on to some government updates. I mean, I guess a lot of us are going to be in DC next week or this week. Gosh, time is going too fast. But the FDA has just approved Bravecto Quantum, which is the first ever injectable flea and tick preventative that lasts up to a full year. That's right. Yeah, 12 months of coverage with just one shot. Now, if you're in the Texas area, it's 8 months if you've got the Lone Star ticks, but it's still a really, really incredible opportunity here. It's an extended release version of Florilanor, and it's available through vets. So that's one of the interesting things here. This is an injectable. It's not a medicine that you're ordering online or that you're picking up from Chewy or one of your online retailers, but it's actually something that people are going to be coming into their veterinarians to be getting administered. So I think that's a cool way to be able to work on increasing that. Hopefully, I guess the question is hopefully increasing compliance. If it's an annual visit, it gives an opportunity for that wellness visit to be linked around the flea and tick prevention. And I think it could be something really cool to see. Obviously, when patients aren't compliant, we find that there's always an issue of patients are always compliant, but the owners aren't always the compliant ones. But we see there's an issue of not staying on top of these sort of vaccines and these treatments. And when that happens, we start to see the cost of the bills escalate. We start to see things become more and more expensive and more difficult to treat. And then we see this snowball effect of people saying that care is getting too expensive. So interesting to see that this is coming together. Congratulations to the team at Merck, MSD, for what they've got here, and really looking forward to seeing how this is taken up. If you're a vet or if you're in the industry and you're participating with this and you're looking forward to using this, I'd love to hear your take. Is this something you think is going to increase compliance? Is this something that's going to be utilized well by the clinics, or are people still going to want to have this monthly or quarterly injection or chew that's going to keep patients coming in on a more regular basis? Now, a new leader is on the block. Yvonne Shu has been named the new president of Hill's Pet Nutrition. Shu has an extensive experience in animal health. Most recently, she was the president and general manager at Hill's Pet Nutrition US, and she has been leading that for a while. She's got a really, really cool background and is someone that's a bit of a journeyman and loves doing consulting and being in a lot of companies. I was really impressed by her longevity and stick with itness, which is probably one of my favorite ridiculous terms. But Yvonne's been with Colgate Palmolive since 2000. She's been through a lot of different roles there. And most recently, she was the executive vice president of global growth and innovation for Hills. So really, really great experience. Hills has been this incredible bright light in the Colgate Palmolive portfolio over the past couple years. It's something that I've seen a lot of new people being promoted and moved around and shifted and things like that in their portfolio. And I think they're just trying to find ways to replicate the incredible success that they've been having there across the entire sector of Colgate Palmolive's portfolio brands. So she's going to be filling in the role for John Haslam, who's been promoted to Chief Growth Officer for Colgate Palmolive. So great moves all around. Love seeing this. Congratulations and best of luck to Yvonne in her new role. Finally, Ohio is set to join 8 other states in allowing a virtual VCPR this coming September. The legislation, which was signed on June 30th by Governor Mike DeWine, allows Ohio licensed veterinarians to establish a veterinary client-patient relationship, or as you all know, a VCPR, through real-time virtual visits rather than requiring an in-person exam. The Cleveland Animal Protective League was a big component or a big proponent of bringing this to the forefront and getting this bill passed. The president and CEO, Sharon Harvey, said, "We're thrilled that Ohio is taking this important step to improve access to veterinary care. This legislation is a win for pets, their people, and animal welfare community. We're proud to have helped lead the way." I thought this was super cool. I'm obviously a big fan of telemedicine. I think it's important. As any of you that have been following along, have been in Europe a bit, doing a little bit of a family trip while still recording episodes, and slept on a incredibly uncomfortable bed, messed up my back, was doubled over in pain. And you know what? I did a telemedicine appointment, got a prescription, got my back all fixed up, and back to vacation. So if I can do it for myself, I love being able to do it for my pets. It's something that I think is really cool and special. And so I dug a little bit more into trying to understand where Ohio falls into this. And there's data from the Virtual Veterinary Care Association that sits down and lists out all of the different states and where they sit on VCPR laws and where they fall in telemedicine. So I'm going to make sure I link that interactive map. I know they've updated it in January of this year. There's new regulations and new things that are coming through. I think Ohio needs to get updated on that map, but still a great place for people that are interested in this or curious about what's going on to be able to find a way to interact more with these things. And if you're looking for more on these and other stories, join us by subscribing to our Substack. There's always a link in the bio. And don't miss out on any episodes by subscribing and rating the show. If you're going to be in DC this week, make sure to say hi. I cannot wait to check out AVMA and see what's the latest and greatest in our industry. For the Bird Bath, I'm Ryan Leach. See you next week.